Okay, boys and girls, we are going to get to work on this radio cabinet now. We're going to install this Philco chassis into the cabinet. This is a 41285, and we're going to jump right in here in a second. I'm going to ask you to put up with the poor audio quality in my shop because this person's in a hurry and I don't really have the time to set all the things up like a good microphone and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to ask you, I hope this sounds okay to you. I'll do the best I can to condition the sound when I get to editing, but I'm just going to have to work with things the way they are because this guy's waiting on this radio. So here you see the cabinet. I did not do this cabinet. This is one that this fella had somebody do for him. So I'm going to treat it with a lot of care. So let's get started. I'm going to pause the camera while I get set up, okay? The first thing I have to do is remove this original speaker board. It turns out, and this is much in my favor, that this speaker board that comes with the speaker I'm using is about the same size. So I should be able to remove that board, mark the holes on this board, drill the holes, and put this board right back in its place. So that'd be sweet. I thought I was going to, do a lot of measuring and all that to get it straight. But the truth is, I can just lay this board on top of the other one and make it work. It's funny, one of the songs that was playing on the radio when I did the last power up to this radio has been playing in my head ever since. Smoky Mountain Rain. You know how that is. You hear a song, whether you like that song or not, doesn't really matter. You hear a song, and then it just plays over and over in your head. That's what's been going on for me. I think I like this solution because my board is actually in better shape than this board is. I was going to have to try and get these out of here, these studs, but I don't need to now. And I will save this board. There will be some poor soul down the road who has a radio that needs a speaker board, and I can recondition this. I am going to get this chassis out of my way by putting it up there. There is no reason not to put it up there and get it out of the way. So I think before I mess with that speaker board, I'll make some room for myself, and I'll put a chassis in place. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. Yep, Smoky Mountain Rain. Nice song, nice song. I like it. I'll tell you something. In a recent video I did, the song Convoy was playing, and that song about pestered me to death for a couple of weeks. Just mentioning the name of the song, it started playing in my head again. Well, you're getting to see the full measure of the messiness of my shop today, but I don't know what else to do. It's all I can do to keep things tidy. I had a friend when I went back to Illinois, not this past time, but a time before, who gifted me a whole bunch of radios, and I'm still trying to find a place for them because nobody turns away new free radios. I mean, nobody, none of us do. If you do, well then you're not a real collector. All right, so let's stand this up. Now the trick here, or the key is, to find out what screws actually fit in this hole, these holes. So I don't think it's these, but I could be wrong. I'll be damned. They fit really nice. I would have guessed these did not fit. Okay, so I don't know what I was thinking where I thought I had the wrong ones. Because I got 4 of these, which is exactly the number I need. I bought these new from Renovated Radios, these new corner mount isolators. These are what Zenith uses round washers, but Philco likes to use these corner rubber isolators right here. See, they just fit on there like that, and they work real nice. Let me show you one of those isolators up close. You get these, like I said, from Renovated Radios. So Philco used kind of a white colored one, but these work just as well. I like the way they look better. It's basically a little triangular cross section with the beveled corners on 2 of the corners of the triangle. This part right here on the radio, this little L-shaped section, fits down in this triangular hole, and this little L-shaped section has kind of a little catchy part right here that holds onto the rubber. So you just slip this on like that, and it'll hold it on there. It does a nice job. And so you don't run the screw up through the isolator on these like you do on Zeniths and most other radios. All right, so you just go ahead and push that on there. Now those are on there. Cool, cool deal. Now I don't think there's anything more to it than just setting this chassis in there. I hope I'm not blocking your view, guys. If I am, I'm only going to do it once, so oops. It helps if I take the knobs off. I do that almost every radio I do. I don't know why. It's like a mental block, and if people were to know that about me, they might think I was not intelligent. All right, see how those isolators look? They do a nice job. They give it a real finished look. I like it. So these washers have a concave shape to them. I may not be able to find other concave washers, but two of them will be good. They kind of lock, because of that concave shape, I imagine they behave a little like a lock washer. Look at that, I hardly had to move it. That, my friends, was the sound of about 300 screws and nuts falling off the top of my cabinet and making a mess on my floor. I can't seem to avoid doing that every time I come out here. Let's deal with this speaker now. Let's put these knobs on in just a little while. Right now I want to get this speaker taken care of. Okay, so I've drilled and countersunk these holes. And I'll go, this is the replacement speaker. I'll go ahead and mount that on here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and mount it like that. So let me get some screws in the holes here. All right, I had to drill some new holes because the originals were soft and I off-centered this a little bit. These new holes will make a big difference in how stable this speaker is. That's perfect. That speaker board just fits exactly how I wanted it to fit. Well, crap, guys. I forgot to turn the recorder on while I was putting this antenna in. So let me show you what it is. If you look carefully there, all you see is a screw which goes through a bushing and then mounts to a block on the bottom. No big deal. The bushing sits under that wooden plate so that the screw can't screw the wooden plate to the block. No big deal. And then you look up at the top and it's very similar. There's a tall bushing that goes through that one, about 3/4 of an inch tall. And that bushing works like the bushing on the grommets, where it doesn't allow you to tighten the wood frame of this antenna up against the bottom plate of that chassis mounting board. What it does is it squeezes that bushing and the antenna still turns freely. So let me show you. By the way, there is the speaker mount right there. It's all mounted up. So if you look at this antenna, it's meant to swivel some, not a lot. We're talking about 30 degrees each direction, but enough to utilize the directional nature of antennas like this. I've connected the leads to the back of the radio. The speaker is connected up. There is no hole to run the speaker cable through, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to turn the radio around. We'll put the escutcheon on, and we should be about done. I only have 4 of these little screws for this fella, so I'm going to have to do the best I can. I have some brass screws downstairs, but they're a different color than these in that they're shiny. But it looks to me like there were only 4 screws on this thing anyway, because these corners are busted out. There were originally supposed to be 8 screws on it, but these 4 corners are busted out. And I don't know where the screws went for those. But 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all I would be able to mount anyway. So I don't see holes on this thing, so I'm going to have to make some holes. All right, so positioning should be easy.
Dinner's ready.
I'll be right there. All right, I had to drill 4 holes for the escutcheon. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the felt washers on. This is a really simple to assemble radio cabinet, guys, so that's why this video is a real short one. There's not much to this. So you go ahead and put the felt washers on. Then you slip the knobs over these to prevent abrasion on the surface of the escutcheon. Now I put some knobs on here. Let's get that done. All right, I think there we go. This is the tuning knob. Tuning knob technically should not have an arrow on it, but this one does. Okay, let's run a cord in here and plug it in, see how it sounds. All right, contact. Let me unplug my lights. My lights cause havoc in here. Now that does make it a little dark in here, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Conservative principles to Washington. Paid for and authorized by President Chris Herring.
Here's Dave Ramsey with today's Ramsey.
Hackett, Gunther, and Scott Mitchell. We're talking to Pete Butak, publisher of. Really? No. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Levant. At BYU, is it BYU? Or would they have had a better chance?
I can give you my reason.
There we go.
In the night like shadow dancers, before the time is gone.
What do you think, guys?
They rage on against the lives that this world gave them.
There we go.
Hoping.
All right, this is volume. That's bass or tone. This is the band switch right here, and there is the tuning knob. Let's tune it a little bit.
Teams at 11, just $15 a person, $25 a.
Now, KSOP is 1370, so I think we're doing all right there. What do you think? Let's go to 1430.
Always up to a person.
There we go.
Commitment level. This is not hard. Anybody.
I love Mexican music. go on down to 570. Hold on. I don't recognize that station.
Is potentially hundreds of millions.
There's 570.
That is now going.
Awesome. Let's see.
I guess I grew up alone.
Yeah, that's a different song. So that's a country station that's kind of de-action it a little bit because that is not a local country station. I do not recognize that one. I've never picked that up before. That's really cool. So let me show you the presets and then we'll call it good. So when you see how it says broadcast there, let's go to preset. See how that lights up down there? That's AM 1370 KSOP. Some stupid sports station. Another stupid sports station. That's a religious station. Mark Levin, of course.
Identity because it has been a little bit of a differentiating factor for a team. It doesn't get 4 and 5 star recruits. And if you...
There we go, guys. So I think this radio is good to go. Let me just I hit that button by accident actually. So let's there we go. Okay.
It's in John chapter 10, verse 42. If you want to follow along, you can.
All right, so there we go. Let's take a look inside the chassis, inside the cabinet. There we go. There's with some light on it. Looks good, huh? It's a nice looking radio. I'm real happy. He's going to be happy. That speaker installation looks really nice. It doesn't even look like it doesn't belong, except the color of the wood's a little different, but it just looks clean. That's a nice speaker. I probably will just leave those words on there, and I'll tell him he can take them off if he wants to. It's an isopro bill. It tells him what kind of radio this came off of. It came off of a 49-1613. I took it off last year in March. There's the antenna. I think that's pretty cool, pretty straightforward. So real nice. There's the cabinet. He did not lacquer the cabinet. He basically oiled it, and it looks really good. Actually, the camera lights don't really do it the justice it deserves, but it's a lovely cabinet. So there we go. There is the best way to look at a tube radio, right there in the dark. There are the mixer and the oscillator tubes right there. The the IF tubes are sitting right there. Second detector. Check out those output tubes, man. Are those gorgeous or what? Those 41s are nice tubes. And of course, way up there is the nice and stately 84 rectifier. So this is a nice looking radio. It's pretty cool. It'll look nice in the dark. Now, if you look at this, you can kind of see through those windows into the dial, the front of the dial. That's okay, because what's supposed to go there are little paper labels that are the stations. I always leave it to the customer to make those. You can make them on with Microsoft Word and print them out on any printer. You cut them out and you fit them right in there. And I leave it to the folks because I used to do it for people, and they never liked the stations I put in there, and they'd always take them out anyway. So there you go. And you can see the top edge of that dial where the paint is coming off. There's nothing I can do about that except replace this dial, and they're not cheap. So if he wants to do that, it's easy to do, and I'll even install it for him if he wants to bring it back to me. But this is, it looks fantastic. It's a really nice radio, and it sounds great. So let's put her on a little KSOP here. I'm about had enough of the religious and sports stations. There we go. All right, guys, I think that's going to be the conclusion of this little project. 1941 Philco 41285. A great radio. I've got one similar to it myself. I've got a 280, and I'm looking forward to doing it someday. I think he's going to like this radio for years. So it's Monday, July the 31st, last day of July, for crying out loud. It's a really hot day in Salt Lake City. It's about 98 degrees, and I've been working out in the garage, so I'm eager to get inside. So once again from Salt Lake City, this is Michael, and that's all for now.